Welcome to a tutorial on the Theory of Mind Inventory 2 website. This tutorial lasts approximately 15 minutes and is intended to show users how to navigate the ToMI-2 website, how to conduct administration and scoring using the ToMI-2, and we also want to give you a few tricks to use so you can easily customize and download your reports, share your ToMI-2 subscription with other professionals, send reminders to respondents, and recoup a measure if a parent doesn't complete it. The Theory of Mind Task Battery was developed and validated by Tiffany Hutchins, Patricia Prelock, and Laura Bonazinga-Bouyer and copyrighted in 2016. Today's presentation is delivered by Shelby Hill and Bonnie Purtell. The Theory of Mind Inventory 2, also known as the ToMI-2, can be purchased and downloaded at theoryofmindinventory.com. Along with the ToMI-2, you also get the technical manual for the ToMI-2 Guide to Clinical Decision-Making, as well as access to HIPAA-compliant web-based ToMI-2 administration, scoring, and report generation. With one purchase package, you also have the option to download the ToMI-2 sister measure, known as the Theory of Mind Task Battery. The Theory of Mind Task Battery was co-developed with the ToMI-2, and it is a direct measure of a child's theory of mind performance. You can learn more about the Theory of Mind Task Battery by visiting theoryofmindinventory.com. Registered users also have access to the Theory of Mind Atlas, which will be described later on. All assessment tools and informational resources associated with the ToMI-2 are available by visiting the website. Once you're at the home page, you will see several drop-down menus. The About menu will take you to the web pages where you can get information about the rationale, uses, content, development, and validation of the ToMI-2. With regard to validation, 4 peer-reviewed manuscripts published in the Gold Standard Journal for Autism Research, that is, the Journal of Autism and Developmental Disabilities, are available that describe the rigorous psychometric evaluation of the ToMI-2 by both test developers and independent researchers. The ToMI Translations menu will take you to a list of researchers around the world who have developed translations of the Theory of Mind Inventory, as well as its sister tool, the Theory of Mind Task Battery. The Related Products menu takes you to a site that describes the Theory of Mind Task Battery in detail, and there is also a YouTube video tutorial describing the administration, scoring, and interpretation of the task battery. Finally, the product information link will take you to a description of the different packages that are available for purchase. After you have registered or purchased a ToMI-2 package, you can access your dashboard. Registration is currently free and comes with one free ToMI report. Here's what the dashboard looks like. As you can see, there are 5 content links in the middle of the page. These are ToMI-2 test materials, Theory of Mind Task Battery, Caregiver Interview, Theory of Mind Atlas, and Report a Problem. So let's briefly take a look at each one of these content areas. First, let's consider the link to the ToMI-2 test materials. It is important to note that the ToMI-2 is a resource available to clinicians and researchers that is entirely online. When you register for use or purchase a package, you gain access to our tests. But unlike traditional measures that are sent to you in the mail, you download all our forms and print the ones you want to print. The link to the ToMI test materials is where you will find all the downloadable and printable forms of the ToMI test. These include ToMI-2 full version, paper measure, ToMI-2 toddler screen, paper measure, ToMI-2 self-report form, ToMI-2 technical manual, and the ToMI-2 Guide to Clinical Decision-Making. Here you will also find a link to a video tutorial like this one, only it focuses on the development, content, and use of the ToMI-2 with a focus on how to use the report output to make strategic decisions about intervention target selection and focusing on areas of theory of mind that are likely to be the most developmentally appropriate for your particular client. With one purchase package, you get access to the ToMI-2 sister measure, the Theory of Mind Task Battery, which is a direct measure of a child's performance. The link to Theory of Mind Task Battery is where you'll find all the printable forms associated with this test. These include ToMI Task Battery, ToMI Task Battery Score Summary Form, ToMI Task Battery Short Score Form, ToMI Task Battery Long Score Form, ToMI Task Battery Technical Manual. Here you will also find a link to another video tutorial, only this one focuses on the content, administration, scoring, and appropriate interpretation of the task battery. From your dashboard, you can also download materials to assist you in developing a caregiver interview, which is a great way to drill down on areas you are interested in to make sure you understand how they might be affected and to learn about parents' priorities for intervention. The link to the caregiver interview is where you'll find all the printable forms associated with the interview. These include the ToMI-2 caregiver interview, Getting Started document. This brief document explains how to use the report output to select areas of focus. There is also the ToMI-2 caregiver interview template, which serves as the skeletal body of the interview. And there is also the ToMI-2 caregiver interview quick view. This document simply lists the item content for the areas you chose to focus on, so you have an easy way of cutting and pasting your items of focus into interview template. The next content area on the dashboard is the Theory of Mind Atlas. Do you ever feel like there is just too much information to keep track of in the social cognition research? So do we. All ToMI-2 users have access to the Theory of Mind Atlas, which gives a user-friendly primer designed to support professionals' understanding of theory of mind and to give professionals materials they can use to communicate about theory of mind with caregivers and other professionals. The Theory of Mind Atlas describes each item in the ToMI-2 in detail. It describes the theory of mind domain tapped by each item, when it emerges in typical development, related cognitive achievements, and what is known about how this domain may be distributed in ASD, ADHD, and oral and late signing individuals with hearing loss. The Theory of Mind Atlas is constantly being updated and added to in an attempt to put the best possible evidence in the hands of the professionals who need it most. So now let's take a closer look at administration and functionality. At present, electronic administration is not available for the self-report form. If you are doing self-report, you will need to print the form, available in the ToMI-2 test materials link from your dashboard. Have the client complete the measure, and then you will score by hand, which takes about 5 minutes. Once the measure is scored, you'll enter scores online to generate a report. For all other forms, including the full report and the toddler screen, you have the option of electronic administration or paper administration. For paper administration, the procedure for the self-report applies. Simply print and administer. For electronic scoring, navigate to your dashboard and click on Start a New Assessment. That will bring you to this next page. Here, simply fill in the required fields at the very bottom. You'll select Send Email to Caregiver or Score a Paper Measure. If you send an email to the caregiver, an invitation is sent to that person to complete an electronic version of the Theory of Mind 2. It is identical in every way to the paper measure. Once completed, you'll get an email notification that the measure has been filled out, and the report will be sent directly to your dashboard. If you select Score a Paper Measure, you will need to have the scored measure in front of you. You will be taken to a series of pages where you simply enter the scores of each item. When you're done, you just hit Submit, and a report for that measure is also sent directly to your dashboard. A word of advice: always try to ensure that the unique code that you assign to a client is non-identifying. That is, it shouldn't use names, birthdays, or initials. If you always use completely non-identifying codes, your data will always remain entirely HIPAA compliant. So sometimes we are asked, what happens if a caregiver forgets to fill out the form online? Or, the caregiver never completed the measure, can I get the measure back? To answer these questions, it helps to view the dashboard. Here you see an image of a user's dashboard with all of the reports listed. When only the bar graph icon appears under Actions, that means the measure is complete. At the top of this list, you see 3 icons under Actions. The first is a link action. By clicking on the link action, you can link to that report. You might want to do this, say, if your client shows for a visit but says they forgot to fill out the measure. In that case, you could link to the report and have the client complete it. This is one advantage of using electronic scoring because you aren't tethered to a physical form. The next icon over is an envelope. Clicking on the envelope brings up a few fields to complete, including the receiver's email. This is a good tool to use if you need to send your client a friendly reminder or you think you might have initially entered an incorrect email address or the email address of your client has changed. Once again, since you're not tethered to a physical form, that measure is not lost. Now let's say that, for whatever reason, you started an assessment that never got completed. For whatever reason, you just want to start over. Using the system, you can. On the far right-hand side, you'll see a trash can icon. Clicking on the trash can icon will bring up the following prompt. Here, the system is asking you if you want to trash this measure or not. If you do, that can't be undone, and the recipient will not be able to complete the measure if they later decide to. But you do get this measure back, and so your number of measures remaining in your subscription will increase by 1 by clicking OK. This means you never have to worry about sending a measure to the wrong email or sending a measure to a client when you're not sure they will get around to completing it. Now let's take a closer look at how to customize and share reports and how to share subscription packages if that is something you want to do. It is easier than you might think. Sometimes clinicians or researchers are interested in some of the output but not all of it. When this happens, it is nice to be able to customize your reports to include only what you want. There's an easy way to do this. Simply open a completed report and navigate to the Customize icon. That will bring up a menu on the left side where you simply click on the features such as graphs and tables that you want and deselect the features that you don't want. After you've done that, you can simply close the report or download it as a PDF to keep another copy of it. Finally, for sharing reports, simply share the URL that is associated with it. Every report has a URL, so if you live in Oregon and want to share the report with a conferring professional in New Mexico, all you have to do is cut and paste the URL into an email. Finally, it may seem obvious, but the ToMI-2 is a little different from most traditional measures in how it is set up electronically, and so it may not occur to users right away, but the system is designed to allow professionals across sites and institutions and states and nations to share the same dashboard. This can be quite an advantage for many institutions. To share the system, all you need to share is your login and password information. Of course, this is one more reason why client codes must always be unique and non-identifying. But this allows for convenience and ease and can result in considerable cost savings since different collaborating or sharing sites, such as schools in a school district, can purchase one subscription and simply select the number of measures they want to share within it. Finally, a question we often get is, what happens to my reports when my subscription ends? The answer is nothing. They remain in your dashboard and you still retain access to them. We hope this presentation was helpful in answering any questions you might have about the ToMI-2 website. If you have questions about the ToMI-2 or the website, please contact us at tiffany.hutchins@med.uvm.edu. Thank you.